Hi, thanks for tuning in. I hope you caught the last episode when we discussed some of the concerns that people in the diaspora have about investing back home in Kenya. In this episode, I'll be continuing that conversation and just sharing some of the tips that we have learned over the last 5 years on how you can go about doing that. You're watching On Land in Kenya, and I'm Solomon Wangwe. Next thing you're going to do after you've identified your goal for investing back home and ascertaining that if you're going to be investing in land that your citizenship as a Kenyan is still intact, is doing research and finding out what the opportunities are. Platforms like ours can be helpful. I like to think that we're offering the best value out there as far as information is concerned with regards to land investment specifically, but there are many other ways to get information. So get out there, ask questions, send emails, read reports. You can send your relatives or trusted friends to go check out the opportunities for you if you can't come here yourself. So once you've done all that, how do you engage? I get that question a lot from people in the diaspora. I've had a number of conversations just in the last week with people in the diaspora, phone conversations. They've called and said, listen, I'm in the diaspora. I really like to invest in Nanyuki, but what's the process? How do I know what's supposed to be done? Is it even possible for me to buy if I'm in the diaspora? And so this is what you'll need to do. Find a trusted individual to kind of hold your hand remotely that's here locally. If it's a family member or a friend, in my opinion, better yet, a professional, someone like a licensed lawyer. Identify one who can begin the process for you. Once you've done that and you've engaged with a property seller like Goshen Acquisitions, it'll be a smoother process because they will be able to interact directly on the ground and do so in a way that respects the law. There are very specific things that you have to do if you're buying property, especially with land, agricultural land in Kenya, and having a lawyer here on the ground to represent your interests is very critical. We always recommend that you have independent legal representation from the land seller or the property seller, just because should you and the land or property seller get into a dispute of some kind throughout the process of the transaction, each of your legal representatives can vigorously defend you without having any conflict of interest issues. So if you're going to share a lawyer with Goshen Acquisitions, for example, which happens majority of the time, and then we disagree for whatever reason, there was a misunderstanding about what size of land we were supposed to be selling you, and so on, then it's difficult for that particular lawyer to defend your interests as vigorously as they should. And same for us, because they represent both sides. So it's international best practice to have separate representation if you can. In many cases, a lot of our customers prefer to share lawyers with us just because over 5 years we've kissed a lot of frogs to find our princess, if you want to think of them that way. A lot of lawyers out there don't really understand the due process, shockingly. So you have to identify a conveyancing lawyer. These are lawyers who specialize in property law and commercial law specifically, and those will be able to steer you clear from any potential issues. And so for that reason, a lot of our customers, for example, will be okay working with our lawyer, but you should find one for yourself. Once you've done that, come to terms, negotiate, be aggressive if there's room for negotiation. A good rule of thumb to use when you're negotiating, and this is something we do when we're buying, is this, first one to name their price loses. Unless it's been defined clearly what the selling price is, the first one to name theirs is a loser, because then negotiation happens from that point. So let the other party name their price and try and negotiate for yourself if there's room for negotiation. If there isn't, let them justify their price. Let them speak for themselves and show you why their price is not movable, right? That's very important, because any shilling or dollar that you save makes your investment returns that much more attractive, right? So don't be shy about negotiating. Once you've done that, you need to sign sale agreements. Very critical. By Kenyan law, digital signatures are not recognized, right? So and this is a question we get a lot. So how do I get the sale agreement signed? Can you email me the sale agreement and I'll do a digital signature and then we'll be good? No, you can't do that. By Kenyan law, you can't. And if any land seller agrees to that, you might want to, investigate further. That's a red flag. Either they're ignorant about what the law requires, or they're trying to take you for a ride. But if you do a digital signature, your contract is meaningless. So you have to spend a little bit of money, or better yet, we as a land seller to incur the cost to courier the hard copies of the sale agreement to you. I mean, we live in a world that's the size of a golf ball these days because of air travel. So DHL, FedEx can get contracts to you in as little as 3 days at any corner of the planet. So it should be easy. If someone is serious about engaging with you and looking after your interests, they should send you or courier you the sale agreements for you to sign physically, and they can be sent back, and then they're duly stamped by the Attorney General's office so that they are legally recognized within the legal fraternity as binding contracts, and then you're good to go to conclude the transaction. I hope that information makes sense to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to engage us. You can check out our YouTube channel, Goshen Acquisitions Limited. We're also up on Facebook. Our website, www.goshenacquisitions.com. You can send us an email to inquiry@goshenacquisitions.com as well, or give us a call. Our numbers on our website. Feel free to engage with us. We're happy as far as we can share information that will make it easy and seamless and safe for you to invest back home if you're in the diaspora. I'm Solomon Wangwe. You're watching Own Land in Kenya. Stay tuned for more information on strategic land investment.